They said that people are putting up content. People are expecting, response from different places in India, right? But they're not focusing within 5 kilometers of their radius. Population की कमी है तो नहीं हमारे पास. If I'm meeting a potential client and expectations are set that we are doing our best, the plan is to prepare for the worst. See, you're seeing good numbers. It's not that I have done something extraordinary. I have recommended you a good scheme and it's doing well because the market is supporting it. When I have a discussion with my client, right, like we do not talk about returns.
आज हम मिलेंगे एक ऐसे एमएफडी से जिन्होंने दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी फाइनेंस फर्म की नौकरी छोड़ के अपना खुद का ड्रीम फॉलो किया. इनका नाम है खादिर रंगूनवाला और ये है द इन्फिनिटी क्लब के फाउंडर. इनके लिए म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिर्फ एक बिजनेस नहीं बल्कि एक पर्पस भी है. तो चलिए आज सुनेंगे इनकी स्टोरी. वेलकम खादिर. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट. So why don't you start by telling me something about your background, where you're from, your family background, your qualifications?
Thank you for having me, Mr. Ashish. So yeah, my name is Khadir. I come from a conservative Gujarati family, but most of my schooling, my college has been from Coimbatore. Briefly, I did spend close to 8 to 10 years in Bangalore when I was working in Goldman Sachs. But that's pretty much it. My schooling, college, Coimbatore, homegrown boy from here. And yeah, I mean, India is a diverse place, allowed to travel so many places.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tell me something about your growing up years. What kind of interest you had when you're growing up? Were you a good student? Were you kind of a naughty student?
Okay, this is going to be embarrassing. But while growing up, I was very careless. I was not very mindful about, what are the things going around me. And I was not very good with education. But I was very good with sports. Like I was a very good athlete. I still feel like that is something which I should have perceived. And yeah, but I do feel that, I was a very good athlete, but because my grades were not too good, right? I was always in the, defaulters list. And they would be like, you focus more on your education, then you can go play or then you can, participate. But I think after a point in time, it just struck me that, like only person who can help me or the only person who can make an effort to make things change, right? It has to come from within.
Correct.
So I think around 9th grade is when I started to be a little bit more mindful about, how do I want to be perceived, right? Like I wanted people to respect me. And then I think my journey started wherein I was a very shy person, but then I I have to make an effort. I have to go in front and face the audience, right? And if I lose, what do I have? There's nothing that I'm going to lose. So I think that is how my career, my thing started. About being facing the public and putting in effort more than anything. In my family, I feel I'm like the black sheep of the family. But 12th was like the changing point for me. Like as a student, everyone has been told that, if you get good grades only, then, you will get a good college and then, then you can have a good job and then, everything is happy after that, right? So that way I felt like, okay, I need to put in a lot of effort and I need to get good grades in my 12th. Only then will I get a good college may admission.
You got a good one?
I did very well. So on it, like I think roughly I crossed 95% in my 12th.
Yeah.
And that was the only time I've actually hit 90s in my entire schooling. Right?
Got it right at the right time.
At the right time, exactly. So that was like that day, I still remember. I don't think my parents have been more proud of me. Right? Maybe because it was like no one really expected that, okay, he's going to do this, right? So the bar was so low. Although they knew that I was pushing, I was really trying, but somehow it was not working for me, right? But the last end mein jab the board results came, right? It was very I was very, very happy, and yeah, more than me, my parents were really happy. So then I got the confidence that I don't have to have a benchmark all the time that, okay, if this person can't do it, so even I can't do it, right? Like I need to push my boundaries. I need to keep challenging myself, and that's the same thing that's happening in college for me.
And then what did you do after 12th?
After 12th, so again, I was not really determined that, okay, I have to do this, I have to become a CA. Like when you are in a commerce field, most people, like the easy path is BCom or BBA.
Correct.
These are the things. So I had both the forms for that. So I was asking all my friends, BCom, BBA. So I had like 10 counts of BCom. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll go for BCom.
Right.
So that's how I made my decision. Out of 10 people, 9 of them were in one class. I was the only person in the other class. So the first day was a shocker. But I think that's how I got comfortable to being by myself. Not always being surrounded by people you know.
Where did you become from?
I did from PSG College of Arts and Science.
Okay.
Right, and again it's like the entire cycle coming back, right? So going back now as a as a guest speaker in the college for financial literacy sessions, right? So it's like come to an
One
entire
hell of an
cycle.
experience.
One hell of an experience, and my teachers, I'm still in touch with them, so they feel so warm that okay, this boy who was studying, who was with us, and now he's coming back as a guest lecturer, right? So it feels really good for them as well to see.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
then what about your post graduation?
So post graduation happened a while after, and that's because in our second year, during a campus interview, Goldman Sachs came to our campus.
Wow.
Yeah. So usually campus recruitment happens for final year students,
Correct.
right? But we were very lucky. Like that was the first year when Goldman was coming, and they were also hiring interns.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
a day prior to the hiring, right, I didn't even know what Goldman Sachs was or who they were. Yeah. So maybe chalo, okay, like my friends were like, they're coming. It's like a big thing, RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, and Goldman Sachs were like,
Yeah. This is the world's most coveted financial service
for sure.
organization.
So I was a little embarrassed that I didn't know about them. But I was like, okay, you know what? एक OD मिल जा रहा है मुझे, and एक practice हो जाएगा, and I'll know as to where I stand, most likely return के बाद ही reject हो जाऊंगा. But I was confident that if I make it to interview, right, I might at least go 1 or 2 rounds, if not, everything. But return was something which I was really scared about. कि वो नहीं होगा मेरा. When they came, we finished everything, and at that time, then they said, okay, fine, your return is done. अभी आप अपना resume डाल के चले जाओ. And then at that time, all of us are like, resume है ही नहीं हमारे पास. But then we all made a resume. All 10 people making the same resume, just changing the name and submitting. And we were like, इंटरव्यूअर भी कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा कि ये सारे लोगों की स्किल क्यों सेम है. But and we were like the 10-15 people, we were like all waiting कि हमारा नाम call out होगा अभी next round के लिए, and almost like everyone were done, and they're like last 10-15 papers, and we're like अभी किसका नंबर लगेगा, कौन जाएगा. But then luckily, like, we made it to the rounds, which was one-on-one discussions, and we had 4 rounds of Goldman, like, and that was divided across 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And after the 4th round as well, and I made it to the 4th round.
Nice.
And the 4th round was the most challenging round for me. It was very intimidating, right? Was the very intimidating round for me. And I'm like, okay, done. I came this far. I'm happy. I'm happy with how I did. It happens good, doesn't happen also. It's okay, but I'll try better next time. And 2 days later, I think it was around this time during my birthday, they said that Khadir, you've made it. So yeah, campus placement से कॉल आया कि आपको इंटर्नशिप मिल गया है, तो आप आ जाइए. तो मुझे लगा कि मेरे दोस्त मेरे से प्रैंक कर रहे हैं. बट देन 2-3 लोगों का कॉल आया ना, तो आई वाज लाइक, ओ शिट, एक्चुअली आई मेड इट. And that was a very good experience for me, one of the days that I remember. And then soon after, like, I did my internship with Goldman. It was a summer internship, and I had a good project. I had a very good team, and after that, I got a full-time offer as well.
Lovely year. This was which year?
This was in 2013.
2013.
Yes.
Wow.
So I got a full-time offer, and then I joined Goldman after my graduation.
Where? Which city?
So this was in Bangalore.
Bangalore.
So back then, Goldman was in Bangalore and in Mumbai. Mumbai, they had a slightly low presence, but Bangalore is where they were really setting up a bigger operations. So that is where, we all, the summer we spent in Bangalore office.
So how long were you there in Bangalore office with Goldman Sachs?
It was a 8-week internship.
Oh, 8-week internship.
Yeah. And more than the internship, I was like, I'm finally getting out of Coimbatore. Yeah. Like, and that is the thing, right? Like, when you're actually going, you're going to be independent. I had not lived that life before. I was in a very bubble, I would say, right? That, you're in a bubble, you're just happy, comfortable with your friends, your family, that's it, right? So this was like my first escape to, living life by myself.
Yeah.
So that 8 weeks was very good. I had a lot of fun. And then when I joined back, that was in 2014.
2014 as a full-time.
As a full-time employee, yeah.
Wonderful. And how long you were there with them?
So I was there with them until 2021.
You were there till 2021?
2021, yes.
How was your experience there at Goldman Sachs?
It was very good. So, I mean, when I look at it, it has taught me a lot, right? Right from 2013 until 2021, right? And experience-wise, it was a very good experience. Obviously, everything has its shares of ups and downs, right? But it's as to what you take from that particular experience, right?
Correct.
So I was very fortunate to be working among the smartest minds over there,
That's correct.
right?
That's correct.
And as I mentioned, right, this was my first time out of a city, out of Coimbatore, right? And to do things independently, everything,
Yeah.
finding a place for myself, and in a new corporate, in a corporate environment, right? Like this never happened to me before. Like my parents, they are from a business family. No one in my entire family has worked anywhere, right? So, but they're very supportive. They're like, go see how it is. You've got a very good opportunity, so why shouldn't you? Right? So they were very, very supportive. Like ideally, my father could have said that, I need help. So best would be for you to join. But he's never, and even till date, he's never asked me that, why don't you come help me out? So I
That's
think,
nice.
yeah, so that support from them really helped.
So Khadir, that's where my question to you is.
Yeah.
Actually, there are two questions. Number one, why did you leave Goldman Sachs?
Yeah.
Right. And number two, why did you choose to become an MFD?
Right. So to answer your first question about leaving Goldman, right, I was very comfortable in Goldman at that time. I think the last role that I was serving was a project management role,
Wonderful.
and the experience was very good during that time, right? So it was a very good role. I was very comfortable as well, and I was doing fairly well over there. But then we all know 2020 COVID happened, right? And I just felt during COVID and even prior to that, I was not available for my family as much as I should have been, right? And I felt like every time I was using work as an excuse, I was always prioritizing work over any other commitment. And I think that kind of hit me a little hard, especially after the first wave of COVID, right? So I felt that, probably I need a sabbatical. I need to rethink everything. I need to bring in a little bit more balance. And that's when I decided that, if not quit, at least take a sabbatical, think over it, and then, decide as to what next. So now coming to your second question, right, as to why MFD, right?
Yeah.
So when I quit Goldman, I didn't even know that there was such a thing as MFDs.
And this is 2020.
2021.
I'm sorry, 2021.
Yeah. So I didn't even know that there's such a thing such as mutual fund distribution. Like I had some sort of an idea that, okay, I want to do something different now. I wanted to kind of, whatever family business that we were in, right? I wanted to use that and do something in a different space or a different vertical. So that was my plan. But everything that you plan, it doesn't happen according to that. And in a month's time, I had to come back to Coimbatore, and I had to then start exploring as to, what what is more suitable, what is a suitable opportunity for me while I was taking care of my father. So at that time, I spoke to a few people, right? And I'm a very hard believer in this particular thing, that being at the right place and at the right time,
That's true.
right? And another thing is to seeking help. If you are confused, you need to talk, you need to ask people for guidance. And that I felt I was able to get from very sane people who I would really take them seriously. Like I'm not asking just for the heck of it, but I would really take whatever they said, right, seriously, and I would really consider it.
Got it.
So a few conversations during that time really helped me, and they said that, this is a very good profession, and it is backed by, it's in the same industry, it's in the same financial industry, and I have the experience, so why shouldn't I? So then when I started exploring, I had to first clear my exam, which is NISM 5A. It's a certification that you have to do. You get your license, only then you can, start becoming a distributor. So at that point in time, it was, okay, fine, I'll focus on one thing. I'll complete my certification, I'll get my license, and then I'll start empaneling with, say the top 5 AMCs, and then start my business.
So how was your first year as an MFD?
Right. So first years are always challenging, be it a MFD business or be it any other scope of business that you're doing, right? I wouldn't say just 1 year. I think the first 2-3 years are going to be extremely challenging.
Is it easy now?
Yeah. It is fairly easy. Yeah, it does get better, right? For sure, right?
Of course.
Every day has their own challenges,
Correct.
but when you get comfortable, when you know the ins and outs, right? It gets easier.
Yes.
Yeah. But to your question, the first year, right, it was a challenge. But over there, I feel like, as I mentioned earlier, being at the right place at the right time. So I think a day after I completed my NISM 5A exam, I got a call from my RM. who was not my RM back then, but
Of course.
he called me and said that, like, we noticed that you cleared your exam. So have you heard about the platform and would you like to empanel with us? So that was my first contact with AssetPlus. And I was like, yeah, sure, because when I have to do this with 5 top AMCs, right? I have to go and do an empanel with them separately.
Sure.
Right? And that seemed like too much of a work at that time, right? Obviously, I would have done it. I could have done it. But again, it was a lot of work to go to the top 5 people. Obviously, there are more AMCs right now. But when I spoke to him, right, he gave me a lot of confidence saying that, why don't you just, get on a demo call with us. We will explain what we do. And if it works for you, then you can think about empanelment, right? So that demo call really helped, wherein he showed me what the platform they were building and how I could use it. So when I saw that, I was like, this is a very good platform because it was very simple.
Correct.
Right? It didn't look too fancy. Like, I don't think we even, at that time, we were working on UI, UX or any of that sort, right? It was a very good platform, but it had the basics. It was exactly what I was looking for. So that is how I was like, okay, now to start my distribution, I don't really need to think about, investing money in building a platform. I already have something. And that is what you need to do, right? Like,
Sure.
you need to use innovation rather than innovate something which is already there.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think AssetPlus started very well at that point in time. Now, the first year, so you have a good platform that really takes away a lot of your now you don't have to really focus on the support aspect, right? Your support, your tech, everything is kind of managed by AssetPlus. But now the important task is that how do you find clients? And how do you start networking with them?
Sure.
And how do you convince them that you are the right person for them, and that you can help them with their investments?
That's correct. So how did you go about doing this?
So now, as I mentioned, right, with my history working in an investment bank, right,
Yeah.
and one thing which kind of worked in my favor is that I was back in Coimbatore, right, where I grew up.
Correct.
So my friends knew me. People around there knew me because my parents were still there, right? So people knew me over there. They knew that, okay, I was working in Bangalore. I was working in a investment banking firm, right? So they were not new to me, that they wouldn't give me even a 20 minutes or a 30 minutes.
That's true.
So what I would do is I would go to my dad's office. I would make a list of, let's say, 10 people. And I would be like, at least 5 people I need to call after a particular time, after 4 p.m. I will,
After 4 p.m.
after 4
Why
p.m.
after 4 p.m.?
If you see, right, like everyone has a list of things that even they have to do on a daily basis. They have their own checklist, right? Be it personal life, be it bank related work, be it supply, whatever it is, right? So everyone has their work, right? So mornings are a busy time for everybody with their business, right? So I found that, okay, after 4 is a time where people are slightly more relaxed, right? Market also has closed, yeah, and now they're not expecting too many people and they're not expecting too much work, right? So I felt like, okay, I can probably reach out to them right now. They'll give me some time as well. And I used to call them. I would not go unannounced just like that, right? So I did call them, and most of them, I wouldn't say all of them, but most of them were very supportive. They said, yeah, why not? Come. We'll have a discussion.
So what did you used to tell them? And the reason I'm asking you, Khadir, is this because what we see is there are a lot of new people who get into the business,
Right.
and they are not very sure or comfortable in how to approach their network. And what we also have to understand is that in our business, if you don't go to a network in first year of your business, then you will it will take you long time to build your business, right? Eventually you have to go out of a network only, but why not start from a network? And if
Yeah.
you're giving a good service,
Yeah.
if you're treating them ethically,
True.
people need this service, why not?
Right.
So how did you go about doing this?
Right. So what I would do is I would, and this thing you have to understand that it is more about the psychology of money rather than money itself.
That's
right?
correct.
Everyone wants to make returns, right?
True.
If we knew which scheme of fund or which asset class would give the highest return, we would all put our money over there,
Sure.
right? But unfortunately, we don't know. So which is why the best thing is to not put all your eggs in one basket. So I would have a very simple conversation with them, right? Even though I'm a finance guy, even though I can talk about the market, right? People don't want to listen to so much of that.
That's a very important point.
Yeah, you have to have a very normal conversation.
Sure, because we as a mutual distributors, we know about market.
So many things. Yeah.
We go and start, kind of vomiting it out on the customer.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would, and this happens very very easily for me. This thing of having a discussion, right, is very easy, like free flowing. I wouldn't make a plan that this is how I want to do. I would just talk to them generally, and then somehow this topic will come in the discussion. And again, like if I talk about 2020, right, while I was still in Goldman, right, people would still ask me that okay, which fund can I invest in, which fund will give me returns. So I was still giving unsolicited advice back then. So I'm like, okay, now that I'm doing as a profession, people will probably appreciate that. Yeah, people would want to take that service because I didn't see too many people around me doing that at that point in time.
Got it.
So when I used to have this conversation, I tell them that it's very simple. I'm just going to help you plan your finances slightly better.
Wonderful.
Right?
Wonderful.
And they would be like, yeah, we're up for it, right? So we would start small, we would start slow, and eventually they would get comfortable.
Correct.
Right? People would have some preconceived notions that no, I've actually burnt my hands in stocks, so I did trading, and I have so many LIC policies, or I have so many policies, from different companies, right? So the only thing which I would suggest to them, or I would tell them, is that let me help you declutter this. Let's get up.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Help me declutter. I'll
Yeah.
help you declutter your finances, huh?
Right.
Interesting.
And every individual that you speak, right, everyone is different, right?
Correct.
So even if you have a plan that this is my script and I'm going to go over there, it will not work.
Doesn't.
It doesn't work, right? So you just have to see as to, like how a doctor, right? He will not give the same medicine in a prescription for everybody, right? He will see as to, how does he treat this person differently according to their symptoms.
Sure.
So you have to take this particular thing, saying that, okay, risk profiling is something which is very important. We do that. Understand as to what does the client want, what are their goals, how much of a risk can that particular individual take.
So you use any tools for all of this? Any calculator?
We have a
or some Excel sheets? Do you really use any of those?
I generally don't do it because I feel back calculating things don't make sense. Putting things on Excel is very easy. Saying that you will make 12%, 15%, 20% is very easy. But what happens in a year when the market doesn't perform?
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Fair enough.
So
everyone has their own way of explaining this concept to investors.
right.
You have yours.
So my thing is that I should not overcommit to something.
That's a good.
If I overcommit to something, then the investor is also expecting, and then the chances of them being dissatisfied is higher. So always set the bar so much that you can overperform.
Yeah, true. So now let's talk about struggles, Khadir.
Right.
What I understand is when you started, you might have certain ideas in your mind.
Right.
Some of it might have worked.
Right.
Some of it might not have worked.
Right.
And so just help me understand, what were those ideas or those preconceived notions you had,
Right.
which like failed miserably, or
Right.
अरे यार मैं तो कुछ और सोच रहा था, एकदम कुछ और ही निकला.
Right.
Do you have any such stories or any such thing
Yeah.
that happened?
I do have one story.
Yeah, sure.
So when I was speaking with my uncle, he happened to be in this field, like my dad's cousin, right? So far off relative, would not have very frequent conversation with him, but they told me that, see, anybody in our family who has even 1% idea about finance or has some idea about finance, this is a person. So you reach out to them. So I reached out to them, and I also spoke to a few other colleagues as well. So they said that, yeah, like mutual fund, and at that point I'm talking about the early 2010, when used to get upfront commission as well. Right? So if you do 10 lakhs or more, you get a better commission, and everything is upfront, right? Now slowly we were transitioning into a trade-based commission.
Correct.
Where you would only get according to the number of days an individual is invested. There's no lump sum, right?
Correct.
So I felt that was, I wouldn't say a setback, but that doesn't give you a boost which you might want for your business.
Correct.
Right? So that was definitely one concern, right? That, there's no upfront commission. This is trade.
Yeah.
So you will get rewarded, but that reward will come probably 3 years down the line.
That's correct.
It's not something that you will get immediately. So that is one thing which I feel I could have been a little, even though I was prepared for it, but the first month commission was so bad that I felt like crying. And literally like one drop of tear came down also when I saw the first commission, the brokerage report being sent, right? So that was quite brutal, if I can be honest.
I hope it is sorted now.
Much better. much better.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Khadir, what were the strategies or what are the techniques which you think were been very helpful for you to grow a business from where you started to where you are currently?
Right. So for me, I didn't have a strategy, right? I felt like, okay, you know, I'll do all these things. These things seem right to me. I would go by my gut. I would go by, you know, I would obviously try. And one thing at that point in time is that we were transitioning post-COVID.
Correct.
So there was a lot of outflow of information which is coming from financial influencers as well.
That's correct.
Right. So you should not consume too much knowledge as well, because that can also confuse you a lot. So you need to follow a few people, and I found those few people that, okay, these people are talking a lot of sense to me. I can relate with them. So let me do that. So I would consume knowledge, and I would try to build a plan according to that.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
There were a lot of things tried, tested. Some failed, some did really well, right? So the first 2 years, I would say, even 3 years, right? I would say that you have to go all in. You have to do everything which you feel that, okay, there's even a 1% chance that if I can succeed, right, you should do that.
So what are those things, Khadir?
Yeah.
And some of those techniques, something really worked out for you.
Right. So number one, definitely go out there and speak to people. Yeah. Even if you have, if you don't have clients, no matter if you have the best strategy, you can't do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to speak.
Correct.
You have to speak with people. That will also build confidence, right? That will also give an experience in case if that conversation didn't go well, right?
Yeah.
You can go back, think that, you know, how could I have done this better? What could I have avoid saying, right? Or what could I have said that this person could have been a little bit more interested?
So Khadir, you mentioned a very important thing. Let go out and talk to people.
Right.
So now what happens is I might have a particular network. The network might have, let's say, 50 people, 100 people. But what do I do after that?
Right.
So I understand your point about talking to people, but where do I find those people
Right.
who are other than, or let's say who are out of my network?
Right. So something which I did, I don't know how good we have done at that, is we started recording videos and putting that up on social media platforms.
Ah, that is interesting.
Yeah. So now we have platforms like Instagram, we have platforms like YouTube, right? So these are platforms, even LinkedIn. I personally feel LinkedIn like the best platform that I'm comfortable with, right?
Oh.
So you have these platforms where you can work, you can make a content, you can put that on that particular platform.
Okay.
And that could also lead to generating leads as well for you.
And it had worked out for you?
Not as much I'd expected. My expectations were too high at that time that, you know, okay, you know, we've done such good work. But now in hindsight, I see as to why it didn't work out, because I was being too technical at that point in time.
Ah, interesting, interesting.
Yeah. So obviously after that, we did things differently. But for people who think that, okay, we're limited to people around us, right? You can reach out to a wider audience as well.
Correct, correct.
Right? So that is one thing. But if an individual feels that they have, you know, only a limited network, right? I feel they need to look better, right? Because I attended a session again through AssetPlus in 2023, right? They said that people are putting up content. People are expecting, you know, response from different places in India, right? But they're not focusing within 5 kilometers of their radius. Forget 5 kilometers. They're not even focusing within 2 kilometers of their radius. How many offices, how many factories around that particular place are there for you to go and strike a conversation?
Wonderful.
Why do you need to even go to the next city?
Correct,
You know,
correct, correct.
there is so much population की कमी है तो नहीं हमारे पास, right? So you can always strike a conversation with anybody, and obviously you don't have that intention that he's going to be my next client, right? But you never know who your next client can be.
Yeah, sure.
So one person should not feel that, okay, my thing is limited. Your network is built, you know, it's not something that everyone is gifted.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True.
So you have to build that, and that takes time.
That's correct. So how many families are you serving today?
Close to 235 families.
And how many of them would you say are the people who were your initial network, friends and family?
I would say max 50 families.
All of the other people who have come in, they have come through to your maybe, and let me call it referrals or some other initiative which you would have taken.
Yeah.
So I think that is where the important point is. And you have just gotten started. I mean, you have like another 20, 30, 40 years ahead of you to build your business. Right? Yeah. So now help me understand, Khadir. Today you are at around 230 to 40 families.
Yeah.
What is your vision? Where are you looking at reaching another 5 years or 10 years? Just help us understand.
So honestly, I've not thought about my vision in terms of the number of families I want to serve. Right? We do not have any restriction that, you know, a particular person is coming, they have to invest so much with us, right? So even if I can in the future hope to serve 1,000, 2,000 families also, we would love to do that.
Got it.
So I don't have a milestone in terms of the client, right? If someone feels that we're genuine, they can trust us, right? We're more than happy to serve them, right? But in terms of a number, obviously I'm eyeing a 1,000 crore AUM.
That's
right?
nice.
And I'm not being arrogant. I just feel like, there's a proverb that, shoot for the moon so that you can at least hit the stars, right? So you need to have a particular benchmark so that that kind of motivates you every day to do better.
Sure.
Right. Having said that, you also made a good point that, you have 2 decades, right? And I'm really looking to serve my clients for 2 decades, if not their generation, their next generation as well, right? Right. And it stands true, like how an individual says that, you start investing early, the compounding benefit gets better, right?
Well said.
So to that, I think with your business as well, right? The earlier an individual starts, right, the chances of them growing and serving their clients for a longer period will also benefit them.
Great vision, Khadir. Now let's take a little deep dive into your business practices. So my first question here is, how does your day look like?
So I try to get up early and plan my day out.
Sure.
And it usually starts with, waking my son, taking him to school, hitting the gym, and after that, going to office, right? So when I have a plan, right, I schedule meetings also according to that so that there's never an overlaps, right? And I've learned this somewhere where that when you're fresh, right, try to do the most important task in the morning. So that I feel has really helped me, right? You will have operational work throughout the day. There will be certain clients who would like to connect with you later as well, right?
Sure.
So if you can do that, if you can support them, do that. But the way I have worked is that I try to be a little bit more organized. And depending upon the request, like certain requests are urgent, right? Like there's nothing that, we can do for certain emergencies as well. So we do take that up as well. But usually my day in office is anywhere from 10:30 till like 7:30, 8 p.m.
Okay. Sure. Now, you mentioned about office. So give me a picture of how your office looks. Do you have team with you?
Yeah.
What do they do? Can you just tell me something about that?
Right. So I've been very lucky. We have a good place. It's in Navi India, Coimbatore. It's very close to the main road as well. We've got a good location, and also it's near to my house as well. So I have the comfort of going home for lunch, taking a short nap if it allows me to. But on most days, I try to pack lunch and have at work. Now I have a very good place. I have a team as well who help me with my activities. Be it operation, be it support, even the sales stuff, right? So we have a very good team, and I'm really happy about that. But all of this was not done in a day. Like,
How many people you have?
so we have close to 5 people.
5 people.
Yeah, including me. We are 5 people, and we have external team as well.
What in my external team?
So, for example, auditing and accounting, we have a different team altogether, which is sit in a different office in a different location.
Khadir, you mentioned about the team.
Yeah.
I have 5 members in the team, including you, of course.
Yeah.
So can you help me understand how the roles are divided?
Right. So, before I say as to how we've divided the roles, right, it was never like this. Like the office that I spoke to you about, the team that I have right now, right, and the delegation of roles, right, it was never like this. So, this started primarily at home, right, and then when you are at home, you have access. Your mother, your wife, your kid has access to you, and you don't get enough time to concentrate and focus on your work, right? So I realized that I have to go out, and that is how you meet people, right? So I used to go to the market, and I used to sit in my dad's godown. And I had a small table, and I used to work from that particular godown, right? There was one table fan for me, and I used to operate over there for close to a year.
Okay.
So I felt that was good because I felt that people can see me, people will reach out to me, right? But then I realized that, probably this is not a very good setup to have, right? So it took me a good 1.5 years to realize that this setup is not working out. Actually, if someone wants to have a discussion, and this is some of these topics that an individual can bring, right, might be certain personal and confidential as well, right? They would not
Sure.
want to discuss this in front of 3-4 different other people as well.
Correct.
So then I took up a small co-working space.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, where I know that, okay, this is my office, this is where I'm going to work, and this is where I can ask my clients.
So that made a big difference in your practice?
Yeah, it did. It really did make a big difference. Even this place was very good, like as I mentioned, right? So from that small space, now we've shifted to a cabin wherein we have now the team that comes in, right? We have a nice conference room, we have a cafeteria where they can all sit and work comfortably.
Wonderful.
Right, and even the client feels good to come, right? Like prior to this, we would not have too many clients come to our office, but now because of the access that they have, because of the parking facility, etc., these are all luxuries that I have right now. So I've been very lucky, and I feel very blessed. But that, I feel, does play a very good role. Right, people need to take it seriously. So just to give you another example, right? Like when you go to a clinic, a doctor's clinic, right? You see the ambience over there, right? Like how it is managed over there, or you see a lawyer's office, right? Like the chamber that they work in, right? It needs to give out a vibe that, okay, this is the work that we're doing over here.
Got it.
Right? So I think this is something that we all, if we can try to do to whatever extent, to whatever resources, to whatever capacity that we have, right? We need to have a space wherein we do this work. Yeah.
And now let me circle back to the team roles.
Team roles, yeah. So initially, I felt like I was getting involved in too many things. At times, I still do, right? So the intention, to be very honest, is not to micromanage, right? But when you have been doing this for like the first 2 or 3 years, all by yourself, right? This is inbuilt, right? That you have to be on top of everything. But now when you have a team who have been trained for at least a year and a half, right? Now slowly you have to let go of some of the operational duties. Right? Let's say any KYC regulation, KYC compliance, or any other regulation that comes, right? That has to be something that one needs to do for our investors.
Correct.
Right? Like we have a community which needs to be managed again, where we build client engagement, right? Then we have social media posts that we do as well, right?
Sure.
Because people need to be updated. It's like the news, right?
Yeah, sure.
That they need to know as to what are the things going around.
And it has to come from you.
And it has to come from us, correct?
As in your company.
Right, and the company, right? So that is something that we have allotted, like a particular individual who would work on market news, a particular individual who would work on insurance related discussions, someone who can help them with filing their ITRs, taxation, audit, etc. And then someone who can even help them with planning their finances.
Wonderful.
That someone is me most of the time.
No, fair enough, yeah. But this is great. This is great, Khadir, because I see a lot of distributors who have reached a certain level, but somehow are not willing to invest in their business.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons why they are not able to grow from where they are.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's a great step in my view what we have taken.
Right. Yeah. It will pinch your pocket, having to pay rent for a particular place, right? But the reward that you will get, right, that is good. So you have to consider this as a business, invest in your business to grow.
Yes. So Khadir, the business we are in, I'm sure you would have faced situations wherein you might have recommended something to your investor, and due to market conditions, due to something happening to those funds, it may not be working in the manner you or the investor expected. Does it happen with you? If yes, how do you tackle that situation?
Right. So it does happen. And if I'm meeting a potential client, the first session is basically just to understand, like come to a common ground and tell them what we can do, what we can offer, and what they're asking for also aligns with that. Right? And expectation is set that, see, we are doing our best.
Correct.
The plan is to prepare for the worst, keeping that in mind. Right?
Wonderful.
So that is how we start. And we tell them that, we are going to put in all our efforts. But everything also depends on how the market performs.
Sure.
Right? So even if you see, like say for 2021 to 2024, the bull run that we saw, right? So when people were even saying 20%, 25% XIRR in their portfolio, I should still call them and tell them that, see, you're seeing good numbers. It's not that I have done something extraordinary, right? I have recommended you a good scheme, right? And it's doing well because the market is supporting it.
Good.
Right? So this number that you see today might be good, might motivate you to invest more as well, but understand that this is an unrealistic number.
Wonderful.
So same goes in this time as well. When the markets are not doing very well, right? That if the market or if your portfolio is in the red, the market is volatile right now, and the market from a short-term perspective is always volatile, right? You make money if you are invested for a longer period of time, right?
Sure.
So having said that, we always tell them that, this is a year where correction is going on, which is why your portfolio has not done as well as how it performed in the last 4 years.
Sure.
Right? So it's not that we have recommended something and that has not gone well for you. When I have a discussion with my client, right, like we do not talk about returns. We obviously can give them an average, right, expected returns on how past performance has been.
Sure.
but that doesn't guarantee any return that we will do this.
Sure.
Right? Things are very volatile. There are multiple macro events, right? So we tell them that, this is our goal and we have to work towards that. Right? If you do well, continue doing it. If it's not well, continue that it will get better.
So Khadir, this is very important, right?
Yeah.
And the takeaway for me from what you said is that you are setting the expectations right when the markets are booming and when or let's say when the returns are above average.
Yeah.
And it really prepares you for the time when things are not going to be well, right?
Right.
So I think it's great. Khadir.
Right.
Really appreciate that. The other thing I would like to understand, Khadir, from you is, have you lost your customer?
So I would not say that I've lost a client, but there have been redemptions. People do feel that, if they had invested elsewhere or in different asset class, or they would have managed the money by themselves, they could have made better returns, right? So, and it's always been a cordial relationship. Like no one has come saying that, how did this happen, right? Because we've made sure that, we don't get to a point where the customer feels extremely dissatisfied. But we do have challenging discussions as well, right? So our ultimate motive is that, even if the client is withdrawing the money right now, right, they should still feel comfortable to reach out to us probably 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line as well. Your business ethics should be so good that people remember you for that and not for the returns that they have made. That is my, that's basically what I try to do, right? So I, obviously when I know that the client is not happy, you can sense it from their tone, right? So you can only do your best, right? You tell them, you make them understand that, see, this is what it is, right? You try, you put in all the efforts to ensure that if it's not, if it's a wrong move for them, right? You tell them, right? But ultimately you have to respect the decision.
Sure.
That, if it's not probably the best thing for them or someone else can do a better job, then you have to leave it. But yeah, be prepared that probably they might come back to you.
You got to let them go.
Yeah, let
if
them
they
go.
want to. So, great conversation, Khadir. Now, would you like to share a few of your thoughts about AssetPlus?
Yeah, for sure, right? So AssetPlus, people see right now, is one of the great disruptors in the Indian market, right? But for me, back in 2021, it was a lot different. It was maybe a team of, let's say, not more than 10 people, right? So my journey from 2021 up till now, which has been close to 4 years, 4 months, right? It feels like, we've been on this journey together, right? Like I've really seen them grow and they've seen me grow,
Yes.
right? So anything that like any milestone that I reach, right? Like I have everybody enjoying or everyone celebrating along with me. And the same with, and it's vice versa, right? Like when AssetPlus is getting an award or a particular recognition, right? It feels like a personal win for me as well. And even the founders, right? They've been very approachable right from week one. My first week, I drafted an email to Mr. Vishran saying that, these are some of the support tickets I've raised and this is my feedback. And immediately I got on a call with him, right? And he had scheduled it, right? So that says a lot about the founders, right?
Sure.
Mr. Avnish and Mr. Vishrant, right? So for me, they're like a great source of inspiration, right? That for someone who's graduated from an IIT, right? Still took this as a profession, had the vision for it, right?
Sure.
So I also feel like probably like when you have self-doubt, right? At that time, that is when you have to see that, okay, it is backed by so many people, right? It's not just you on this particular journey. So when you have the reassurance, like how the clients have distributors to give you that reassurance, right? We have AssetPlus who's giving us this reassurance.
This is wonderful, Khadir. And I think we have spoken a lot about business, about your personal life. So we have a nice rapid fire prepared for you. So let's go for it.
Let's go.
So Khadir, what will you prefer? A text or a call?
A call.
Okay. Books or podcasts?
Podcast.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Sneakers or formals?
Formals.
Okay. Save first or spend first?
Save first.
Oh, that's nice. One big dream or many small goals?
Many small goals.
Ah, nice. But that 1,000 crore is a big dream or that's a small goal for you?
So to reach that goal as well, right? You need to be motivated. You need to have small goals that actually make that big goal. Yeah. So I feel having the small wins will also make a big impact when we reach that particular goal.
Sure.
Because that can also demotivate me, if it's been too long, to get to that goal. So having the small wins will, really help my cause.
Wonderful. Famous or successful?
Successful.
Nice. Or both?
Or both. Why not? Why not?
Logic or intuitive?
Logic.
So Khadir, one word your friends would like to describe you.
Hey, that's a tough one. The finance guy.
Hey, tell me something interesting, man.
क्या बोलूँ एकदम boring हूँ मैं. Probably boring. I think that is very suited for me.
Fair enough. Now, last one. One word for AssetPlus.
I say I have 3. Partner, grow, succeed.
Wonderful. So thank you, Khadir. I think this was an amazing interaction, and I wish you all the best for your 1,000 crore and many such goals.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.